Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Iconic Repaints, back with another video featuring another Bandai Ichibansho Godzilla 2021 from Godzilla vs. Kong. This is a brand new figure that just dropped in America the last couple months here, within the last couple months, and it retails for $70. I just did a video previous of a commission I did of this figure, and I gave it the typical supercharged blue atomic fury, whatever everybody calls it, and I just added like the blue highlights to it. And that video is my last video prior to this. It's up. Go check it out if you haven't, and also like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. So today is actually going to be another one of that, but something radically different. I had my own figure. This is my own figure that I had in my collection. I bought it because, like I said, you can't beat the price. For $70, the sculpt looks fantastic, and I want to have it in hands and decide then what I wanted to do with it. If I wanted to keep it, if I wanted to paint on it, if I wanted to sell it as is. And ultimately, I came to the decision to do a completely different paint job on it. Since the paint is probably the weakest part of the figure, the sculpt is fantastic, and for the value of the figure, it was better to take a risk on this one rather than the X Plus. So I went very different. I did something completely wild, and so this is, I guess, a cyberpunk version, some kind of retro Daft Punk album cover. I don't even know what you want to call this art, but regardless, the colors just kind of spoke to me. It's just kind of like a combination of different art color palettes and color combinations that I've seen in various artwork, or like I said, album covers, or whatever the case may be. And just wanted to do something different on the Godzilla, and wanted to see how it might look with a completely different paint job. I knew it had to be stylistic, obviously. Like for instance, like I'm also working on a couple like dinosaur commissions, right? And that's a very reptilian color pattern. There's all sorts of like stripes and spots, like things like that. It's realistic, but it's still very wild. So I don't want to do something like that on a Godzilla. I knew if I was going to do a radical paint job, I wanted the rules to go out the window. I wanted to be very art inspired, not nature inspired. So that was really what I was trying to go for here. There's so many colors involved with this. It really, it came out honestly better than I expected, because I did have the vision in my head, but there was throwing all these colors together. Like some of the things I really like, the purple, for instance. The purple wasn't even, I don't even think I really used a purple paint. I think it was that's just a mix of the other colors. And I realized what the kind of purple it was creating, and I liked it, so I kept spreading it. Obviously, like the neon pink highlights on the head and the gills, I think that's really what helps make this guy pop a lot. Also, one thing I did after I did like the preliminary paint job was I added black in all the details, like underneath all the scales and in between the crevices, and that really helped make this pop. It made the other colors pop and bounce off of it while giving it depth. So I liked it a whole lot more after all the black was added, and it kind of gave it more of that nice artwork kind of aesthetic to it. So some of this was not planned, and just happy little accidents that you could run with, and that's kind of like the fun and the joy of doing these customs, because if you make mistakes, you could typically fix anything, but a lot of times you discover new techniques and new little improvements that you can now utilize in whatever you're doing forward. And that's the fun of all this, really, at the end of the day. So I did ultimately decide that I was willing to part with this piece, but after I did paint it, I really was on the fence. I went into it knowing that I was going to paint and sell, but after I really liked how it came out, I was like, I wouldn't mind keeping this. I think it would look really cool in my display. But I did get a lot of love and kind of feedback and attention for this one. So ultimately, I sold it to somebody who's really into it. I think is going to be really happy with it, and really that's worth more to me than it just hanging out in my display case. I always have this video. I always have pictures of it, and yeah, I mean, by far, surprisingly, I mean, I didn't think he was going to be this popular of a figure the way it seems he is, because I get the attention he's gotten on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, he's gotten like as far as this video is being made right now, he's got over almost like 1,800 likes, which is way more than even 3 times as much as my next most popular Instagram post. So he's on Reddit too. He's so there's anybody who's really kind of following like the Godzilla figure threads probably has seen this guy now. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time. There's, like I said, there's really not much more to go into as far as the figure itself and the monster itself. I've done that previously in other videos. Again, this is from Godzilla vs. Kong, which came out earlier this year. Everybody knows that now. So yeah, again, like and subscribe. I am working on a few different things coming up, exciting things. I'm really looking forward to putting them out there. So yeah, if you have any questions, any feedback, please write it below. I try to respond to everybody as fast and as well and detailed as I can. Thank you for watching. Peace.